8:01, we'll call this meeting from the North Sewer District together on the 17th of June. In our attendance, we have Don, not here, but we do have a quorum. The rest of them are all here, so we're good there. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I'll move to accept the agenda.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second to accept the agenda. Any more discussion on it? Call the question.
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously. We don't have any public comment. Nobody here for that, so we can move on to the minutes. The minutes of the May 20th meeting and the June 4th Personnel Committee have them in your packet. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes?
So move.
Got a motion to accept the minutes? Do I have a second?
Yes.
Crystal, second. Any discussion on the minutes? Call the question.
Aye.
And I vote yes too, so we got unanimously passed unanimously also. On our distributions,
Oh, did you do both sets of minutes?
yes.
Oh, you did?
No, I only heard one set of minutes there.
Huh?
I only heard the meeting minutes from May 20th.
Yeah, I think we should have a separate motion on the personnel, because it does spell out how we plan to go about
Okay,
changing the representation on the board. Not that we're changing it, but the steps we're gonna take to do it.
okay, that motion then was for
I'll make a motion.
the 20th?
We already have.
We already did the 20th.
Yeah, the motion was for the 20th.
Yeah.
Not the
Gotcha.
okay.
Right.
Okay, our June 4th Personnel Committee, the minutes for the
John
June.
moved on that.
John, I'll second it.
John moved on that?
I'll
Mike
second.
second?
Yeah.
Okay. Any discussion on that one? Any explanation that you want to do?
Not unless you have questions.
Any questions? Okay, I'll call the question.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Disbursements, $118,047.62. It's in your packet. Any questions on that or anything unusual in there?
Nope.
The retirees Blue Cross Blue Shield stuff came yesterday, so that will be prepaid to fall in the blanket for next month.
Okay. Got a motion to accept it?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second? Any discussion? Any questions on it? Not,
Mike
I'll-
and Brian or Mike and John?
Mike and Brian.
Any more questions? Call the question.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes unanimously. The financials. We got the
Budget versus actual.
budget versus actual, yes.
You can see our flows are low because of moisture.
Could I go backwards here just a little bit? I got a question on the Freiberger bill
The
for
what?
I&I. What was that for?
Which, the Freiberger, that's Freiberger?
Yeah.
That is not I and I
Oh, I
changed
didn't
it on their invoice as well. Because part of it said I and I, but what it's really for is, I had reached out to him, said, help me with what's the process now of, once we change the makeup of the board, we had to send our certificates in to the Secretary of State, get all that done. As you can see, it's hanging on the wall, it's all stamped, so it's all legal. So I used him to find out what legal steps we had to go
I
through.
see. Okay.
So it really was an I, and I did change that on their invoice. Any other questions? Other than the flows, everything looks pretty good. I do want to set a budget committee meeting, and I can bring it up now, or I can bring it up under my director's report, up to the chair.
Let's wait for Brad.
Okay?
Okay, budget versus actual. Got our financial. Any questions on financials? There's a motion to accept the financials. Oh, we don't need that, do we? Just put them aside for the, I'm sorry. All right, let's go to the operator's report. Greg, you're up.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, and board members, just a couple things here. The air conditioning unit that we were gonna get replaced on the building over there for the plant, that's in the process right now. We're getting the old one taken out of there, and Shannon is working on getting the new one installed. Once it's all installed, they're just gonna be waiting for a coil. It has to be installed after they get everything else up there. So they're just waiting for that to come in, but right now they're in the process of removing all the old stuff and getting ready for it. Also, the PFAS study that we participated in. We got the results back for it. We sampled our influent twice, we sampled our biosolids once. And it came back that what they're looking for is 20 parts per billion. And we came in at, they're looking for less than 20 parts per billion is what they're looking for to be in compliance. We came back at 6.4, so we're well within compliance. So that means that we wouldn't have to go to any extreme to get all our biosolids hauled out of here. We can still land apply it. We just have to notify the farmer that we tested for it. This was just a study now. We will be testing for it again this fall before we haul, when we take our sludge samples and get them sent in before we start land applying. So we'll take that sample again, but that looks pretty good. We come in at 6.4 and they're looking for less than 20. So that's good to know.
Oh, yeah. That's a tough one too, because it's,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, you can't treat it, you can't, you know,
You can't treat it, and
you gotta get rid of it.
so we don't have a lot of industry coming in here, and that's what they said, where they see a real high numbers coming in to different plants, so we're sitting pretty good that way. Also, the DMRQA study, we participate in every year. We just received all of our samples for that. We'll start setting them up when we get time here. We've got till September to get that done. So September the study closes, November we see results back. But we've just received all the samples, so we just work on that as we get time, set them up and submit it. Twin Cities Boiler, talked to them last week. They're still waiting to hear from the manufacturer of the burner. So it's just been a slow process here. And we're just gonna stay in touch with them. Sounds like they're coming up pretty soon here to go to the school, so he's gonna stop by again. There's a few other things he wants to look at, but he said that he's still waiting on the manufacturer to complete the burner. So as soon as we hear anything, we'll let you know. As far as East Cooch out there, last month we had, hours are starting to increase a little bit. We had around 120 hours out there, different call outs, maintenance that we're doing. And we'll continue that, because we're gonna start some lift station maintenance now. So that'll be up there for a little bit. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Questions for Greg?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Greg, appreciate it.
I was just gonna say, if I may, I did receive a call from the accounts payable yesterday from Twin City Boilers, and they must be getting ready to bill us for the partial down payment. So.
What does
and
that
then
consist of? What percentage, or is there a percentage, or?
I believe they're just gonna do a down payment. I don't know if it'll be half or what. And then the air conditioning, that is it is a budgeted item, line item. And then Greg, do you want to talk a little bit about what we decided with the truck? Greg and Robert came up with a really great idea. We have $200,000 budgeted for a boom truck. Greg, do you want to talk?
Yeah, we've got, the truck's the boom's a little bit small for about 3 pumps that we have for sure at the plant on our effluent lift station. And it's pretty dangerous lifting them. There's times we're lifting them and the boom can't hold it, it starts slipping down on us, we gotta break it, and, it's just a little tricky there, but there's 3 pumps for sure in our effluent lift station. There's also 3 more pumps in the lift station that pumps to the filter building. They're a little bit heavy for our truck. So I called an electric pump and asked them, what would you charge us to come up here for a day and service, say, 3 to 6 pumps that we have? And they told me that they charge $1,500 to pull those pumps and service them. Our truck will handle anything else we have out there. All the lift stations, everything else, our truck will handle it fine. It's just them 3 for sure that are really bad, and then the other 3 that are right on the verge. So you're talking 6 pumps to service them for $1,500
One
For
time a
all
year.
6?
for all 6.
That's a heck of a price.
$250 piece,
And that's one time a year, correct?
once a year.
Yeah.
How about,
Everything else we can handle with that truck.
Yeah.
Say we do it.
how about emergency or something?
In an emergency, we can get it out of the hole. You gotta be right next to it and have it just right. But it's very seldom we've had an emergency, we have to get it out of there. There's times when the river's low, that lift station doesn't run. That's just for pumping effluent to the river, when the river comes up.
So it's kind of a no-brainer. Why would we spend $200,000?
Right now,
$200,000 can go a long ways at $1,500 a year,
Yeah.
even if that price goes up a little bit.
Well, you're saving, you're making $8,000 to $10,000 in interest, so
Yeah.
that pays it and then some.
So that will be one of the things that we'll discuss at the budget committee when we get that set. Bring that back to the board.
yeah, that's a lot of money
Yeah.
for a truck, and we can still get by with the truck we got. It runs good, the boom works good. It's just them bigger pumps that we struggle with.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, let's just give them a call, see what they say.
Yeah.
Maybe we could coordinate it with somebody else coming up this way too.
Well, I would, don't push your luck too much, that 1,500 sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Greg.
All right, thank you.
Also, John, Kyle, Stacy, and I took the Alice training through the City of International Falls. Just want to give a shout out to Griffin Opperdahl and Kane Koschik for doing it. And it was at no charge to the sewer district, so we really appreciate that. And we appreciate that, Sherry's really good about including us when there's special trainings and stuff, because it helps us with our safety as well, so. The budget meeting we've been talking about, I would like to set it for July 8th. The budget committee is Walt, Don, John, and Robert. And I'd like to set it for 10 a.m. if that's okay with everybody.
What's the date?
July 8th?
It's a Tuesday, right?
Yep. At 10 a.m. And if that's okay with everybody's schedules, I'll just let Dawn know. Walt, does that work for you?
Yeah, we'll make it work.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, I just want to let you know that Stacy's leaving on vacation for a wedding. It just happens to be her son. From June 20th to July 7th. So when she's gone, I try to be in the office as much as I can. But there are going to be times when the office will be closed. So just to let you know, and think that we all jumped ship. We didn't. Also, speaking of closings, June 19th we will be closed as that is a holiday. And we have 3 CDs coming due in June. I emailed each one of the finance committee members, and we have decided to just invest that for another 6 months, those 3 CDs. We have a lot more coming up later in the year, and for that meeting, I've asked John Winkle to come before the finance committee, and so we can really review interest rates and see what's going on with those CDs, so. And unless you have a question for me, I'm done.
Thank you, Cal.
Great.
All right. Let's move on to some old business then. Update on the restructuring board.
Okay, basically, I just wanted to share with you, I sent the ad out to everybody. We ended up going with the smaller ad. I had sent everything to the Gazette, what the ad, I had the ad all written up. Well, when I sent it back, she told me that applies for a legal. So instead of the 115, it's 70. So,
Save some money.
so we're gonna run this twice. And that ad is, again, asking for interest in serving as an at-large position on the North Cooch Board.
I have a
Okay.
question. Darcy, is that something that you can put in the,
I'll give you a copy of the ad.
Okay,
Okay,
sounds good.
yep, unless you have questions. Sure, go ahead.
Budgeting coming up, are you gonna look at website, budgeting for a website?
I have that on my list to bring that to the budget committee. We probably won't do anything in this fiscal year,
Yeah,
but when we start budgeting for September,
yeah,
yeah, I already put a tickler in my file.
would've been nice for that.
Yeah.
For that
Oh, yeah, been
advertising.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else on that? We move on to the
Amended
bylaws.
bylaws?
Yeah.
Okay, so, per everything that we've gone through with new representation with the board, I had to change some things in our bylaws, amend our bylaws. So everything in red is the new language. And I sent that out to the board to review before the meeting. So I guess I'll just open it up to see if you have any questions about it. Or concerns.
Any comments on bylaws?
The prior bylaws will be kept in the file so that we have copies of them. And then the new one will also be kept in the file. So you can see those changes. And if there are no objections, we should probably have a motion to accept the bylaws as they are rewritten.
So moved.
Got a motion to accept the bylaws, the new bylaws,
Second.
second by Robert. Any discussion on it, any more questions on it, or any questions? Call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
Bylaws are adopted unanimously. Thank you. Okay, our grant update.
I have spoken with Jason. He is going to be starting the process of getting bids to do the televising. So we have 2 years to finish this grant, but we'd like to get through some of it this summer at least. So I'm just waiting on him to let me know what's going on, so not much to report.
we'll have another update next month then.
Yep, we'll just leave it on the agenda,
Yep.
if there's not a lot going on.
All right, any questions on that?
Would you like me to have him zoom in for the next meeting? And give his update?
Yeah, why don't we do that?
All
That'd be a
right.
good one. Any questions we have, then we can ask them then, what's gonna happen, what's the scope of the bid gonna be and this kind of thing, so. All right, any new business? No new business. You see that the WIF account of $19,825 is there, and our next meeting will be on the 15th of July. If there's no other business, we'll adjourn the meeting.